Testing, assessments and evaluation, we thought we will share some of the best practices and technologies that are emerging in this space. Before we actually get into some of the technology components, I just want to give you some background on what are the objectives. I put the word recruitment here, maybe for the relevance of this particular session. It actually, let's look at what are the objectives of a test. You want to attract top talent. Either it can be for a department or for an institution, gain competitive advantage for the specific institution, give equal opportunity to people who are actually writing the tests, and bring in diversity at the workplace, and also ensure growth of institution. These are all the basic fundamentals whenever you do a test for either a recruitment or for an educational institution or an educational program. So some of the most important components or elements in a test is, one is test development, second one is how you actually deliver the test. When you do the test development, a lot of people think that if I just set up a question paper or give a question, a test is good enough. Most experienced teachers or even test setters think that you bring in a series of questions, an exam can be delivered or test can be delivered. Actually, that is not true. People will have to think from the perspective of what the test is intended to do. Okay, what is the purpose of the test? And there are two components which people bring in. One is validity and the reliability. These two are the components that are brought into a test, and these are all very relevant. Maybe when we talk about validity, which is a lot more relevant to this particular session, what is the valid test? I want to bring in one example. How many of you have gone for a driver's test? You will be asked to do a written examination first, which is nothing but a gate. So you will have to pass a minimum criteria, and after that there is a driving test. So if there are two people who are writing a driving test, one is scoring very high, do you think that he is a better driver? But the real test lies in the actual performance-based driving test, and people actually go by that, because that is what is measuring the skill or checking the skill of a driver. Of course, the theory part is also what I would say a minimum qualification criteria that somebody should have. Similarly, any job or any position that is coming up, you should put up a test that is actually really valid and that is testing the competence that is required for someone to perform the job rightly. Or if it is for a student, it should be for the relevant program. So it is so important in today's world, because most of the people think that if you are thinking of a test, put a set of questions, perform the test, and you can just select candidates. That's not the way. So to bring in a relevance, I gave you an example. Therefore, constructing a test, building the right test is the key. So how is a technology going to help for us to bring in a relevant test? Because we just gave you a background on that, and how a technology can help you build a relevant test is what that we wanted to bring in and give a connect here. So there are various technologies today available for a relevant test. First is, actually Madam spoke about application processing, which is also a technology that is prevalent in the country and getting into each and every other state. And we are also talking about computer-based test delivery that is coming into play. The advantage with computer-based test delivery is that you can bring in a lot more security, and you can also bring in different forms of testing. It's just not MCQ. You can also bring in say a simulation into a whole testing environment. We are talking about a technology that can come in 2 or 3 years down the line. Recently we did a test in a state, actually in the state of Maharashtra. Somebody was saying that we would like to combine a multiple choice test with a typing test in a vernacular language, Marathi typing. That is possible in a computer-based delivery, unlike your regular OMR base. Of course, the OMR-based test delivery has got its own strengths, because when somebody is coming up with an RTA request, a digital image is readily available and it could be shared. So what we are saying is that there are different technologies available in the testing world, and these technologies are helping testing companies, institutions and government to bring in the validity of the test, the element of validity of the test, which is core to any testing. There is another technology that is prevalent and that is permeating into both government and educational institutions. That is called, we call it as on-screen marking. Before we get into on-screen marking details, I want to just give you some timeline of what has been happening in this country here. Maybe in the year 2000, we had heard of GRE, TOEFL, and few other exams only going on the computer-based test. But if you look at the timeline, today, number of more than 100 government institutions or education institutions have gone on a computer-based test or use of technology components, the whole testing world. So it's been moving, and we see that at some point of time, some part of technology component becoming a necessity in the tests that each and every candidate is taking, either for recruitment or for education-related purposes. Now, some of the success stories that are relevant here to note are, the first one is one of the largest certification body that is testing bankers in the country today have moved into both online application and computer-based test, and more than 6.5 lakh bankers are being tested on a computer-based test. It was actually on a paper pen mode about 3-4 years back. They moved on to computer-based tests over the last 3-4 years, covering more than 125 cities. The other one that I want to highlight is a large, it's not large, largest municipal corporation in the country have gone on a computer-based test for selecting some of its employees. It ran on a multiple choice question mode, multi-batch testing, equating them, and this is done for the first time by a municipal corporation in the country. So people have started, the biggest advantage in the second example was that the security of the question paper was held close to the corporation right up to the half an hour before delivering the test, and that was the biggest value proposition seen by the corporation. Now coming back to a bit of elaboration on the technology component that I spoke on screen marking. What is an on-screen marking? Today, a descriptive examination mode cannot be removed from many of the educational institutions or in some of the government programs. For example, we heard Madam talking about a Urdu descriptive test being administered for some of the election assistants. So the descriptive examination, or descriptive answer script is there to stay forever. But is there a technology that can improve the quality of evaluation, the descriptive technology, descriptive answer scripts? Yes, the answer is yes. So what we call it as on-screen marking is that the answer scripts are scanned, put into a server in a central location which is running out of a data center, and the script is made available in front of the evaluator, whether he is sitting inside the institution or he is sitting at home. So the biggest plus here is that the totaling error is 0, number one, and number two is that he will not be missing any answer while actually marking the answer script. Number three is that the other tools that are helpful for the markers are available online. Number three is that when the evaluator is evaluating, he can also be evaluated using this technology. To give you an example of what has come in this is, one of the largest school board in the country has deployed this on-screen marking system today. Close to about 3 million scripts have been put on the on-screen marking system. It has happened in this country. I'm not talking about an example that has happened outside. It has happened here in this country successfully. The biggest plus is that when a candidate is asking for an answer script, the board was able to give back the answer script that was asked through an RTA query maybe in less than 24 hours. The totaling error was 0. Imagine a case where there is a poor student writing an examination who does not even have that 100 or 200 rupees to pay for his re-evaluation or recounting. So about 30 to 40% of the errors coming in the descriptive evaluation is on counting. That's completely eliminated. So the point that we want to highlight here is that this is one system that will get into the Indian universities, or wherever you have a descriptive answer sheet in a government recruitment examination or in any other examination that is coming into play. This is to highlight some of the technologies that have come into the testing world. If there are any specific questions, I'll be glad to answer. Thank you so much for your patience. But just to give you one example, for the first time in the world, a Urdu answer script, a descriptive answer script, which was used for evaluating election assistance, because knowledge of Urdu is important, both reading and writing. that was deployed by Jammu and Kashmir Services Selection Board for the first time.